Hi, Standers. This is Sheila Hollinger from Marriage Revealed Ministries. Today, we're going to talk about the subject that many standers go through when their marriage is under attack, and that is fear, anxiety, and worry. And we're just going to dive in. I put together several different slides. So, let's see. Okay, so the enemy takes advantage of certain things that we have in our life: immaturity, our level of faith, what we believe in, triggers from the past, experiences, what you've lost, the pain that you've went through. So any of these areas are open doors and ways that he can take advantage. He uses intimidation, bullying, lying, and deception. So, in order for you to make the intimidation go away, the bullying, the lying, and the deception go away, you have to address the open door that the enemy is walking through. Not all the time it's an enemy. It can just be your fears, your worry, what you believe in. And you have to distinguish between truth and fiction. The truth is, if you jump off a cliff, you are going to hurt yourself or possibly die. That is the truth, right? A lie, a deception, is if you jump off of a step, you are going to hurt yourself or die. Okay, that's not a truth. Sure, there's a possibility if you jump off a step, you might twist your ankle. So one of the things about fear is there has to be something that you believe, something you've seen. Okay, if you have jumped off of a step, twisted your ankle, sure, that's probably going to stay with you for the rest of your life, depending on if you were in incredible amounts of pain. If you jumped off of a step and just barely twisted your ankle and it didn't create a huge impact on you, then would that stick with you, and would you remember that the rest of your life? Most likely not. But what creates a fear, a worry, an anxiety is something is usually an experience or a perceived experience, something we've been told, something we have been made to believe. And I'll talk about some of my fears. I was made to believe, I don't even know how, maybe it's just what I was taught, that I would not survive adultery, that I would not be able to forgive, that I would be destroyed by it. Who knows what I was told, but that's what I came to believe. I believed that it would be unforgivable and I would never overcome it. I also had belief that I was only going to handle it for so long, that I would never be able to handle it and endure it year after year after year. So these are some of the things that we're told and we embrace. And it's just, like I said, immaturity, our level of faith, what we believe in, triggers from the past, these all make up our decisions. And the enemy knows he can come in and intimidate, bully, lie, and deceive us through our beliefs and through our decisions. You want to kick out fear out of your life, you've got to work on this list right here. So the next slide. Fear is rooted in our belief. If you don't believe something, you honestly don't believe it. There's no way you would fear it, right? If you believe that when you go to sleep, you're going to die, you're going to be afraid to go to sleep. You're going to be terrified. You're not going to want to go to sleep. That is a belief. So you have to tackle the elements of belief. You have to tackle what you're believing in and why you're believing it. Where did you learn that? Who told you that? Is that in God's word? Is that part of God's character, part of his nature? Okay? There are elements of truth which creates godly respect and fear. Fear is rooted in our belief. Okay? Wives must respect is the word phobia. Phobia, that's where fear comes from. Phobia is to put to flight, to terrify, to frighten. there is a level of fear and a level of respect that comes when we get afraid. We all of a sudden we have a respect for something that we didn't respect before. I know that for me personally, I did not respect my husband. I did not respect the fear he could create in me. I did not respect his authority. I did not respect so many different things. I did not understand it. And it's very important to understand that we are to have certain fears, right? We're supposed to have a godly fear, and we're supposed to have a respect. Ephesians 5:33 says wives must respect, and that word respect is fear. It's the word phobia, to put to flight, to terrify, to frighten. This is a deep understanding that you've got to come to, and I have done a video on this very scripture, on this very word, and you just have to look it up on our channel. Do a search on our channel under respect, and you'll get more of that. I don't want to go into that too much here, but there is a level of where our fear comes from and how we can misunderstand why we're so afraid, especially wives, why we're so afraid now, why we've lost our security. And that's another huge issue why we fear, is because we no longer feel secure. All things are possible to him who believes. Again, a lot of our fear is because we just don't believe. We have a problem with our belief system. Fear that we are supposed to have is fear of the Lord, and that comes through wisdom. It comes through knowledge. It comes through understanding. Psalm 111:10, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Job 28:28, and he said to man, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to turn away from evil is understanding. If we have an issue with what we're believing in, we don't believe in certain things, it can open the door to being deceived and to believing in the wrong things, which steals our security, steals our peace, and creates fear. Again, I'm going to stress, your fear is about what you believe in. And a lot of times what you believe in is because you experienced it. It's truth to you, right? But what happens is we might believe that because we jumped off of a step and twisted our ankle, now we believe that could happen to us every single time. There is that possibility, yes. But we let it overrun us. And now we're believing in the fear of the possibility and not in the faith that God could protect us. We're not even believing in the fact that we could take it slow and jump with surety. So we let a fear of what happened and the pain of what happened and the worry and whatever happened in the past or what we perceive is going to happen. Let's just say that you didn't jump, but you saw someone else do it. And now you've created this huge, oh my gosh, I do not want to go through what they just went through. I don't want to go through that. And now you're terrified because of what you saw and how they went through it, right? How they handled it. Maybe you witnessed someone that just really was over the top, just was over the top in their pain and their drama and how they acted. But you didn't experience that. You don't know if their level of fear would have been your level. Their level of pain. Maybe they were not in as much pain. They were just annoyed. Maybe they were angry. There's so many different reasons that we see things and we perceive things, and we form our own belief system. We form our own truth. A lot of us have witnessed people going through adultery. We saw the pain. We saw people and what they went through. And it created a fear. Created deep, deep fear. Where do you think the fear came from? We also have other ways that we approach it. We approach it with pride because we saw someone handle The adultery with a prideful heart, with a prideful attitude. And that creates a belief system in us that that's how we have to handle things. Why? Hear this, you foolish and senseless people, who have eyes but do not see, who have ears but do not hear. Do you not fear me, declares the Lord. So I'm trying to think why I threw this in here. That's a good subject there. Why? Foolish and senseless people who have eyes but do not see, who have ears but do not hear. It's about our choices. It really is so much about our choices and what we are telling ourselves to believe in. What we're telling ourselves, it's okay. You know, a lot of times I really realized that my fears were because I just was letting my fear have run away. No self-discipline. I think I have that in here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, what brings fear, allows fear to remain. Right here, not understanding, believing that God is good, with good motives and pure intentions. I would wallow in this, thinking that everything was out to get me. I didn't trust that God, right here, trust issues. I didn't trust that God was for me. I was selfish. I was not taking control of my mind, my thoughts. I had no self-discipline. I was afraid, so that's what I was going to fear. And I was going to act on it. I was going to believe it, and it was truth. And I didn't challenge it at all. Didn't challenge my fears. I was so immature when it came to fear. I'm not that person anymore. When I have fear, I look it straight in the face and I say, what are you about? Where did you come from? Why are you here? And I interrogate it because I know now. I know that fear is not from God. The word says that he has given us a strong mind. He's not given us a spirit of fear. So where did this spirit of fear come from? Because it did not come from God. Right? He didn't even give us a fear of the Lord. That's something we have to come to. We have to come to that. He gives us wisdom, and wisdom is the beginning of fear. It creates the fear of the Lord, creates that godly respect, that godly reverence to him. But what brings fear and allows fear to remain? You guys got to hear this. Sometimes we're walking in fear, and you know what else we'll do with it? We'll use it to manipulate. I did that. I started to feel fear, and I ran with it, and I used it as a weapon against my husband, to use it as a manipulation to bring him, to try to bring him to change. I'd walk around terrified. Oh, I'm so afraid. You've got to change. You can't let me be afraid. You're causing me to be afraid. I'd use it as in self-pity, feeling sorry for myself. So sometimes we do that to ourselves. We do that to others. We use it as a weapon to get what we want. We use it as a manipulation. Because you know what happens is you can't get your spouse to change for anything. So you're going to get desperate enough to do what you got to do. And you're going to take what you can take and get what you can get. And one of them is I'm going to manipulate with tears, fears, worry, anxiety. I'm going to have a panic attack right in front of my spouse. And he's going to say, what the heck is wrong? And you're going to say, I'm having a panic attack because of what you did to me. Been there, done that. Some of my panic attacks were real. A lot of them were real. But it's because I let myself get that bad. That's how manipulative and controlling. And that was sinful, vengeful, and deception. It was selfish. So you want your fear to go away. You need to go through this list of things. Who are you trusting? Trusting your fear, trusting what was told to you, trusting what you believe, or are you trusting God and his word? Did I do this one? Okay, so fear of being let down, made a fool of, and disappointed. Romans 11. For the scripture says, whoever believes, here's that word again, belief. Whoever believes in him will not be disappointed. A lot of us live our life right here, so afraid of being let down, so afraid of being made a fool, being disappointed, so afraid of being afraid. We're afraid of the pain, afraid of the fear, afraid of just so many different things. And we just live our life absolutely focused on what makes us afraid instead of what takes our fear away. Our eyes are on the wrong thing. Whatever your eyes are on will be magnified. So keep looking at your spouse, keep looking at your situation, keep looking at what they did to you. Just keep looking, and you will continue to walk in fear, pain, agony, grief, trauma. You'll start to feel I'm, beyond help. I'm abused. I'm just all these things. And it's a tough place to be. And that's because, where's my other one? The enemy takes advantage of your immaturity, your level of faith, what you believe in, your triggers from the past, and he'll use it to bully you, to lie to you, to deceive you. And he'll get you to agree. He'll get you to agree with it. So these are the areas you've got to work on. How do you become more mature? Time with God. Time with the Father, time in the Word, time in praise, time with other strong, godly Christians, whether that's watching a sermon, getting in one of our Zoom meetings, having a mentoring session with a coach, with a mentor, being discipled. You're living in fear, and here's another belief. This is a good one, guys. Are you ready for this? You have all access, right, to everything I've shared today. You have access to increase your maturity, trust God, but all you think is, you know what, I'm afraid, and I'm going to only focus on one thing. My spouse has to change, and when he changes or she changes, my fear will go away, and that's all I care about. And I'm not going to work on my maturity. I'm not going to work on my level of faith. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to change what I believe in, because I believe one thing, and my fear is coming from my spouse's infidelity, and my insecurity is coming from their choices. And I'm going to make the choice right now, and I'm going to say, I will always be afraid. I will always be insecure until my spouse changes. And there are people that do that. And I think that probably was me in the very beginning, because I didn't see it. I didn't know it. I didn't recognize it. But I had made a choice that nothing was going to take my fear away. Right? And I would say to God, change my spouse so I won't be afraid. And God would say, no, I'm going to change you so you won't be afraid while your spouse is still the same. None of us want to hear that. None of us. God, make the storm go away so I can live in peace. No, I'm going to make you live in peace and learn how while the storm is still raging. That's called being in the refuge. You wouldn't need a refuge if everything was perfect outside, now would you? So why did God create a refuge? He created himself as the refuge to shelter you from the storm that he is not going to stop just to make you feel secure. He's not going to stop it. I don't care how desperate, how much you beg, how much you plead. He is not going to stop it just to make your fears go away. He's going to teach you how to get your fears to go away while the storm is raging. And that's probably more likely 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 to 90% of the time what he's going to do, above taking away the very thing that's causing you fear. Because what's going to happen is if he doesn't teach you how to do that, something else is going to come along, cause you fear. And you're going to think, oh, well, God removed that other thing. He changed that situation. He'll do that here. You think God's going to come in and clean up and remove every single thing that causes you fear? Nope. He's going to teach you the tools that you need to live in peace, security, trust, faith, belief in him to get you through, because otherwise you're going to be a walking fear magnet. Everything's going to cause you fear. God's not going to spoil you. He's not going to come in and remove every single thing that causes you distress. Not going to do it. And I know if you're a good parent, you're not going to do that to your child either. You're not going to do it. You know, if your child is afraid of something, you're going to teach them how to overcome that fear. What if they're afraid of walking down a step? You're going to tell them, okay, I'm going to pick you up and put you down. You're going to do that till they're 18, 19, 20? Or are you going to finally say, you know what? You're too big. I can't pick you up anymore. You're going to have to learn how to go down this step. And you're going to have to do it without fear. And you're going to have to show, and you're going to show your child. You're going to go down that step a million times to show them that you can do it safely, securely, without breaking your ankle, twisting your ankle. You're going to show them the guardrail. You're going to show them how to do it. And that's what God does with us. No, he's not going to pick us. He's not going to flatten that step. He's not going to rip those steps up and make a ramp for us, right? Because if he does that in front of our house, then he's got to do that everywhere that you go. And if you live your life in fear, you will avoid every single situation. I can't go there. They have steps. I can't do that. My spouse, I can't do this. I can't do that. So you know what? Embrace fear and don't look at it like you've been looking at it. Fear teaches you about yourself. It says, uh-oh, I got a belief issue. I got a worry issue. I got a trust issue. I got an analytical issue. Where's that one? Oh, here we go. So faith is making a choice to believe God is taking care of it when you don't see, understand it. When we keep searching excessively and trying to make sense of things, that is not faith leading. That's fear, anxiety, worry, and worry leading. And this was me. When I didn't understand something, it terrified me. I would analyze it to death because I needed an answer. I needed to know what was going on. Just being okay with not knowing didn't cut it with me in the beginning. It does now. I'm fine now with most things. Yes, I Google if there's something wrong, which makes it worse. Oh boy, is that a perfect example. How many of you know don't Google? I'll walk into the doctor's office and the first thing he'll ask me is, did you Google? Yeah, I Googled. Didn't we talk about that, Sheila? I can't help it. I was talking with my girlfriend the other day. I hope she hears this. And I was talking with her, and while we were talking about something, she heard me say, hey, Google, and she goes, Sheila, don't Google. And I'm like, darn it. It wasn't supposed to do that little, the little Google notification that I was searching something because she told me something was wrong. And the first thing I was doing was going to go look it up. But that's what I do. We do that, right? We want to know. We analyze it. It doesn't help us. Googling, oh my gosh, you're dying. That's it. That's the bottom line. If you Google, it's death. Right? Being analytical, practical, thinking things to death can do the very opposite of what you're trying to do. You're trying to find peace, right? You're trying to find something to get you through that fear, right? That's why we run to Google in the first place, because it's like, uh-oh, I got a lump, I got a bump, I got a bruise, I got a this, I got a that, and I need to know I'm okay, and I'm going to be okay. I need to know what's wrong with me. So you Google, and next thing you know, you're being told you're dying. So it didn't help, right? It didn't help. So being analytical, practical thinking, doing these things. So the more you sit there and think about what your spouse is doing, why they're doing it, the more you think about certain things, trying to figure things out, it can actually take away the very thing that you're trying to obtain. And here's another thing that sometimes we do. We make things way bigger than they really are. We make them impossibles. We make them insurmountables. And we get stuck in this really selfish, immature, baby brat place. And some of you guys need to grow up. So let me talk about how I was in the very, very beginning. This is embarrassing, but hey. So I didn't like to be double-crossed. I didn't like to be made a fool of. I didn't like to do I didn't like a lot of things that were done to me. So I would exasperate. I would take whatever was being done and I would blow it into ginormous proportions, right? I would blow the roof off of what you just did to me. I would try to make you feel bad. I would weep and cry and grieve and, I was a drama queen, right? My reaction to what you did was so over the top. So over the top. And I learned at a young age that if I throw a fit, if I do this, if I act this way, I'll get someone to feel bad. And that's what I wanted. I wanted you to feel bad. And I wanted you to change your ways. I wanted to give you what I wanted you to give me back what you took or make it better, right? So now fast forward when, I grew up that way. So fast forward when my husband hurt my feelings, I would just do the same thing. I'd make him pay for it. Make him pay me back. Go over the top. Now, there are times, and I just went through this recently, where something did happen, and I acted, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I acted like that. And it wasn't normal for me. And I had to go to God and say, something just happened, and I need to know what the heck. What happened? And the Lord showed me I had something in my past that was an unhealed place, and that was triggering me, okay? So that does happen. So not everything that you get triggered and you react, okay, because I'm telling you, I reacted above. My reaction did not fit what he had just done. And if that's you and you are reacting, you need to go to God and say, hey, Lord, I know this did not fit. Am I doing it to manipulate? Am I doing it to make him pay? Am I doing it for whatever reason? And if you don't feel that, and it's not that, because that's not you. That's, maybe it was the old you, but it's not you anymore. See, I said, wait a minute, this is not me. This is not me anymore. And so I really was able to get with God and say, wow, this was a hurt that came to me before I got married. And I'm reacting in this place because of something that was done to me. But if I didn't address that and deal with that hurt, what would happen would be I would just keep reacting that way. And it was a perception of something that was a lie that I adopted as a truth. So please, when you're afraid, dig in and figure out why. Some of these things are not going to go away. Okay? Let's go back to that first slide. Immaturity, you can't just snap your fingers and say, I'm mature. Nope. You got to keep attending the classes. You got to keep growing. Got to keep reading. Got to keep day by day walking. Maturing. Okay? Your level of faith, same thing. Your level of faith will grow. Sometimes it takes a nosedive and you've got to build it back up. And your belief. You got to start saying, what am I believing in? Am I believing what I'm seeing? Am I believing those details? Am I believing what the past has taught me? Okay, because a lot of times we faithfully see something happening over and over and over and over, and we just become discouraged and we say, you know what, this has happened so many times. I have a hard time believing this is ever going to change. And that could create fear right there. It could create a huge, not even a roadblock, but more like a mountain. An absolute mountain. Is it something you can't work out with God? Absolutely not. You absolutely can work out any mountain with God. It says if we believe and have faith, that mountain will be cast into the sea. Belief and faith again. Some of us have belief problems. Some of us have faith issues. Some of us have immaturity. And all of it can be handled if you just focus on it and say, okay, do you know how many people, and this was me, say, I'm afraid, and they do nothing about it. They walk in the fear. They live in the fear. They cower in the fear. They don't confront the fear. Or they live in a place where they beg God, God, I'm afraid. Take my fears away. Make it stop. Make them go away. Make them change. Or they focus on the root of their fear. My spouse. Make my spouse change. Make my spouse be faithful. Make my spouse. They don't ask God, Lord, you know what? My spouse might be unfaithful to me for the next 5 years. And you know what? I don't want to be afraid for the next 5 years. Change me right now. Help me endure this in peace, faith, belief in you, not my spouse, because my spouse is not going to change right now. And I can't be a helpmeet to them. I can't be my wife's leader, husband. I can't be that person while I'm afraid. You got to make a choice. You got to stand up and face that fear, confront that fear and say, you know what? Fear, you're not going to bully me. You're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to mock me. You're not going to lie. You're not going to deceive me. You are done. I'm taking authority over whatever it is that I have going on in me. And for some of us, it's all of it. All of it. Our maturity, our faith, our belief, triggers from, it's all of it. Some of us have a little bit more work to do than others. Can you overcome? Absolutely. I was a walking fear-filled person, terrified, insecure, absolutely insecure. And you know what else will come out of fear and insecurity? A fake jealousy. You're not really a jealous person. You're a fear-filled person. And because of that, you're going to pretend to be jealous over everything because you feel a level of control by pretending to be so jealous. If you put on this jealousy act with your spouse, you can control them to not cheat on you, to not look at another woman, because it triggers you to be insecure, to be afraid. A lot of men are that way. They will never walk up to their wife and say, I am really insecure. I am insecure in who I am, what I do. I'm insecure in my age. I'm older than you. I'm secure that I don't make enough money. I'm just insecure. No, they won't do that. But they'll walk around being completely jealous of every relationship you have. They might even be accusing you of cheating because they don't know how to say to you, I'm insecure. They might not even realize it and see it themselves. I have been mentoring this last week, and I've come across that situation now 4 times. 4 different women having spouses with jealousy issues. So that is a very common thing. Husbands, do you hear me? If you are a jealous person, it is probably rooted in insecurity, which is fear. You got to get to the bottom of that. Why am I insecure? Is it an issue in my identity? Is it an issue in something that I, need to be made aware of? So I gave you a lot in this. Let me see if there was any other, whoops. What's this one? Oh, this is a good one to end with. Draw near to God. James 4:8. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, you double-minded. Okay? The double-minded. We could walk in security and, peace one day, and the next day, We become two people, two souls of two selves, double-minded, wavering, divided in interest, namely between God and the world, what you fear, what you see, what you are being told. You must make a decision, stand firm, do not waver. Okay? That happens to us quite a bit. You'll be going great, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you get that phone call, your best friend, I just saw them, they did this, they are doing that, they did, they made, and you're done. You're cowering again. Or you get a text. Oh boy, some people just get a text and they're terrified. What are they going to say? Or they're afraid to go to the mailbox. We all know why. They're waiting for something in the mail. There's so many places we could be so afraid of. Please do not ignore it. Sit down with God and get your journals out and write this out. I'm afraid of, and then just go. Keep writing. What am I afraid of? Analyze that part to death, okay? I'm giving you permission to analyze the fear. Why are you so afraid? And what are you afraid of? And I'm telling you, you're going to discover lie after lie after lie that you'll never survive it. It'll destroy you. It'll hurt too bad. These are all things that we embrace as truth and that keep us in fear, keep us in bondage. We have fears over our kids. They'll never, I could just go there right now with the way the world is, and I have little kids. My youngest is, boy, 8, 9. I don't even know how old he is now. But you guys, there's a lot. I could get so wrapped up and tormented in fear. And what happens is I will look at the world. I will look at my child. I will look at my ability. And I just become a big pot of fear, a big cesspool of fear. And I come out of it by saying, God, that's your son. That's your daughter. These are your children. You are going to take care of them. You are going to watch over them. You are going to provide for them. And bam, I'm right back into peace. And if I want to slip back into fear, I'll just start looking at the world again. I'll start looking at my children about their ability, about their lack, about their worries. I'll just start looking at all of the things that make them up. And I'm back in fear. What are you looking at? What are you focused on? Get your eyes on the thing that gives you strength. He is your strength. You want strength? You want peace? You want security? Get your eyes on the very thing that gives you that. Right? You want to be afraid? Stare at the thing that causes you to be afraid. You want to be hurt? Stare at the thing that keeps causing you to be hurt. You want to hate? Keep looking at the thing that makes you hate. You want to change? Find the exact opposite in God and look at it. Stare at it. Ponder it. Meditate on it. Learn about it. Grow in it. Mature in it. Build your faith in it. That's how we overcome. That's how we become victorious. Save this message. If you're afraid, save this message and listen to it over and over. God bless you guys. I forgot to tell you guys in the beginning to please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Another thing that we are going to do, I'm really thinking about doing a live stream. All right, let's talk about fear. Sheila is afraid to do a live stream. So part of my job today is I have to sit down and I have to write out with my assistant, why am I afraid to do a live stream? And I have to tackle each one of my fears and put them under my feet. Because I want to do a live stream with you guys. So I've got to overcome those things. And I will. So I'm going to try to commit and tell you guys on a Monday, not this next Monday, because we're doing our men's mini mentoring group. If you are a man and you would like to join us, it is Monday. The link is down in the description in the calendar for the mini groups. Thursday is the mixed mini mentoring group. But I'm going to try to commit and say on Mondays, live stream in YouTube. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm swallowing hard. I'm a little nervous because, I don't get the safety of, uh-oh, I made a mistake. I get to edit this. Nope, it's live. But I'm excited. I'm excited about that. So, yeah, I wish I would have discussed this in the beginning because I know a lot of people don't listen to the messages all the way to the end. So I kind of save some of the important stuff for the end of the message. So, guys, try to listen to all the way through. And please, 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 please give the video a like. What happens, I know you guys have heard this, but what happens when you give it a like? It pushes the video out to more people, more standers who are hurting and looking for help. That's what happens. We have a YouTube membership. The videos will get watched 2,000 to 3,000 times and get less than 100 likes. And I know there's a lot more people liking the video than actually are hitting the like button. So please, if you've got a little time, go back and hit like on all the videos that you happen to like and enjoy. God bless you guys. If you have any issues with fear and you need a mentoring, a one-on-one, my link is down below. So in the description, I love you guys. God bless you.